It's day 17 of our advent calendar. Let's see what story we have today. I think my husband is cheating with a parent from our kids' scout group. Were you guys ever in scouts? I was in Cubs, if anyone knows what that is. I don't even know if we had a Girl Scouts in my hometown, but I was in Cubs. This story is fresh, real time. It started December 9th, 2025. My 42 female husband, 42 male, is gone for the weekend chaperoning our kids on a scout outing, and I just can't focus right now. I have a gut feeling telling me that he is having an affair with another parent, 43 female, in the troop of two of our kids. We have kids who are 14 male and 12 female. We've been married for 15 years, together for 17 years, and we have 3 kids total. In that time, I never had any feeling that he wasn't faithful until this week due to a comment from another parent at this month's parent meeting. I don't remember exactly how she said it, but the gist of it was that if she didn't know better, she would think my husband and this other parent really were married. I can't imagine ever saying that to someone. I'm sorry. I look like a poodle. For someone with thin, hardly any hair, this is catfishing everybody. I'm telling you, waving your hair just really adds like tons of volume. No one cares. This isn't the first time those comments have been made, but it never bothered me when my husband told me about those comments in the past. But those comments were never said in front of me, and it triggered doubt that I can't overcome. And it made me question my trust in my husband. We've known this other parent for years, since her eldest, 14 male also, has been in scouts and other activities with our oldest since they moved to the area about 7 years ago. She is married, but I don't know how long they've been married for. We never see her husband at award nights, band concerts, or other events, and she has made some comments in the past that make me wonder about how healthy her marriage is. Well, if she is having an affair, safe to say not very healthy, now is it? She's also a leader in the troop, and until they joined a mixed gender troop pilot last year, were pretty much the only active leaders who could take on the scouts on campouts and other activities. For anyone who isn't familiar with scouting rules, a minimum of 2 deep adult leadership is required for any meetings or outings, and the other adult leadership in the troop often had conflicts that prevented them from going. So if my husband and this other parent didn't go, there would be no outing for our kids. There were 2 years where they were also the only 2 adults taking 4 scouts to the weekend-long summer camps. He also had her contact pinned on his phone because they text frequently. Those texts usually seem to be about scouting related stuff. Our kids and I are also pinned at the top of his list, so I don't think he's prioritizing her over me. There are more active leaders now that they did the mixed gender pilot, but the other leaders are mostly women. My husband gets along with all of them pretty well, although they are the ones who make comments about them being married. I tried talking to my sister, 40 female, who's married, about this tonight, but she just fed into it. She wanted me to push for an open marriage like her. What? So she could have a wingman. But we're completely different people, and I don't want her lifestyle. Am I overreacting, or is there something there that I'm not seeing? There's obviously a reason why these comments are being made by other people in the scout group, but you need more evidence, I feel. Like, are they just saying that just based off like, oh, they're friendly and they text, or is there legitimate like, we've seen the signs, there's some flirting, maybe some inappropriate texting. There's not enough here yet to me. I'm not fully convinced, but it would bring a flag for me for sure if people were making those comments. Like, why? I would be having full-on conversations with them. Why? Why are you saying that? Why do you suspect that? What do you mean? What am I not seeing? We have an update, and it came the next day. First, thank you to everyone who has commented so far. I've had a night to sleep on this and think about it, and also some of the comments or questions that I received. First, I plan to talk to my husband about this. He texted me this morning and wants to do a movie date night for the 2 of us tomorrow night when he gets back. Movie nights usually end with us, being intimate. So I plan to talk to him about how that comment made me feel, and a few of you gave me some ways to approach the conversation that doesn't come across as defensive or accusatory. He's told me about those comments that people have made in the past, and it always seemed like a joke. I guess hearing it directly in a way that I didn't interpret it as a joke sent my mind down this path. I'm just not comfortable being direct about it and asking if he's having an affair. Aside from the scout meetings, he's home every night and our kids are with him at those meetings. Second, the parent I'm concerned about isn't on this weekend's outing. I'm Facebook friends with her and she has made some posts that also confirm she isn't there. Third, my husband is not trying to keep me away from the troops. He has been encouraging me to get involved, as some of the other leaders from the girls' troop they merged with for the pilot. Okay, I was a little worried that she was on this little weekend getaway with him, so that makes me feel a little bit better about it. We have another update 2 days later. I wanted to answer a few questions that have popped up on the other thread to add some context. A few people asked why I wasn't involved in scouting and if there were things going on in my personal life that made me feel this way. I was more involved in scouting when my oldest was a Cub Scout with my husband. Hey! Cubs was actually just for boys at the time, but then they did this similarly where they did like a pilot where they allowed girls also, and that's how I got into Cubs. But as my oldest crossed over into Boy Scouts, the time commitment increased. I also don't drive because I never got my license in high school, so my husband had to pick up the slack on that. He really wants me to be more involved since our troop is now a mixed gender troop and our daughter has also joined. My job also gets in the way of a lot of things. I teach a 4K program in a privileged childcare center. That's normally a lot of work and it is all year round. My summer is busier because public schools are out and we have more kids. But this year has been harder than normal. We have a new curriculum, a new assessment that we have to do on every kid, and the kids are harder because they're either not prepared for my room or they have behavior challenges. I'm up until well after midnight most nights working on lesson plans or preparing for the next day's activities. Although he tells me I shouldn't work so hard if I'm not getting paid for it, my husband is mostly supportive of my job and will run errands for me and bring me coffee or lunch when I need it. Our local library will ask questions about the books I put on hold for my classroom because he usually picks them up. Some of you DM'd me to ask about intimacy. I feel like my needs are being fulfilled. I wasn't sure if his needs are since his sex drive has gone up over the last few years. He had some health issues and was put on high blood pressure medication about 5 years ago, and he worked hard to get off of them within a year. He lost weight and worked out more. After reading through a few other posts on here, I know this will come up more. He does not go to a gym. He works out on our treadmill and with some dumbbells in our basement. He has never complained to me about intimacy. He knows about some things in my past and doesn't push it, but I'm not spontaneous and it's hard to find time when you have 3 kids and a job that takes all of your time. That said, I am quite pleased with our intimate life. My husband was on that scout outing with 2 of our oldest kids when I made the first post, and he didn't get back until later yesterday afternoon. I had a chance to talk to him and the troop's scoutmaster yesterday. The scoutmaster called me yesterday afternoon because she had a question about the shirt sizes that my kids needed for the new activity shirt they're ordering, and my husband was out of cell service at the time. During that conversation, I mentioned that the married couple comment that was made at the last parent meeting made me uncomfortable. She understands and says that she has been trying to stop that. I asked her some questions about my husband and this other parent, and she said that they're more like brother and sister than a married couple. She says they joke around but hasn't seen anything that looks like flirting between them. They will sit next to each other at meals when the adults eat together, but she doesn't see anything that makes her think anything is going on. I talked with my husband last night. I approached the conversation by raising my concern about the married couple's comments. He understood and said that he didn't like them either. He knows that I can have some anxiety issues. I asked if I could look through his phone. He allowed me to. I looked at their text history and I didn't see anything that would concern me. Their texts were all about scouting, a few book recommendations, a text or two about crowdfunded backpacking or hiking gear, and a text thread about some advice for a car issue that she was having last year when her husband wasn't around. He also let me look through his other apps. His job involved stuff with computers before he got laid off, so he had a few apps like Slack and WhatsApp. He showed me WhatsApp, and the only messages were with people that are his former coworkers. He also had Signal, which was locked with Face ID. He opened it without hesitation, and the only 2 conversations were with former coworkers who did something with computer security. My husband also showed me his iPad and Kindle. I didn't see anything on his iPad that concerned me. When I looked at his Kindle, I learned that he liked reading, and he called cozy romance novels or Hallmark movies in book form. Our date nights usually involve a Hallmark movie or 2, and he told me that he had to research books before borrowing them from the library or buying them on Amazon because he's been surprised by how graphic some of the books get when the summary sounds extremely innocent. After that, I asked him a question that I probably shouldn't have. But the DMs I received and another Reddit post here made me curious. I asked him if he, I don't even know if I can say that word on here without getting flagged. I asked him if he, let's say, pleasured himself. He said he did, and he does it in the shower. My husband takes long showers, so that fills in the gap. Then I asked him who he thought of when he did that. I feel like I'm being let in on a very private conversation right now. He said he mostly thought about me. Sometimes he thought about 2 musicians and actresses. It feels weird to actually post their names in a thread, so I won't say their names. I mean, just say it at this point. But one was a late 90s pop star who is now an actress and voiced a Disney princess, and the other is a violinist. I don't understand why everything else can be said, but not the 2 actresses. I feel like we could figure this out with a quick Google, but I'm too lazy. After a few moments of silence, he also admitted that he had a fantasy about... Now, why would you ever say this? He admitted that he had a fantasy about the other parent and had thought about her in the shower. I wasn't thinking when I asked my next question. It just kind of came out. I asked if he was attracted. Well, ma'am, if he's having fantasies about her while doing that in the shower, I think he's attracted to her. There were a few more moments of awkward silence before he said he was, but he also said he recognized that attraction and he set some hard boundaries for himself. He says he has kept his texts to just scouting related topics and books and doesn't get into situations where he is alone with her and just treats her like a friend. The only time he has ever been to her house is when he was picking her son up for scouting events and he sat in the car in the driveway while our kids went to the door. He does not meet up with her outside of scouting, and when we see them at school and band concerts or other school events, we rarely talk with her. He also said that he is more attracted to me than anyone else and that he has made a conscious choice to not act on any feelings besides the feelings he has for me. Since I had asked him about other people, he also asked me if I had been attracted to anyone. I admitted that I think I'm attracted to the parents of one of the kids I teach. He knows that I only speak to these parents for like 5 minutes a day in the chaos of drop off and pick up, and that I don't connect with parents on social media until after their kids are out of my class. He didn't try to make me feel bad about it. He just said he only asked because I had asked the questions of him. So that is where we are at. I think I'm feeling insecure about myself because this other parent looks like I used to before I had kids. She's skinny. She runs marathon and backpacks and shares some interests with my husband, but he's enthusiastic about spending time with me and meeting all of my needs. And he's home every night with me and has always had location sharing turned on for me, so I can always see his location. Edit. I should clarify something here. When I asked the Scoutmaster about my husband and this other parent, it was about how those married couple comments got started. She filled in the details about how they interact, but I never told the Scoutmaster that I suspected of him cheating. Just that the comments that a third parent made were making me uncomfortable. I told my husband that I had that conversation about those comments with the Scoutmaster. I mean, how do you feel about these? I feel like everyone will have a different opinion on this. I've seen it in the comment section. Some people are very much like, obviously there's other attractive people in this world. Like, I am not naive to the fact there are beautiful women in this world, okay? Beautiful, stunning, gorgeous, good looking. I'm not naive to the fact of that. However, some people don't like that. And they will not like to admit that their partner could admit, of course, that's an attractive woman. Yes, that's an attractive man. How are we feeling about this conversation? I mean, I feel like because you both said, of course I find other people attractive, that they're okay. What do you guys think? How do you feel about this? Before we continue with the updates, we're hopping on hydration. Oh my gosh. If you could only feel the amount of water that somehow poured all the way down my sleeve. How did that even happen? Oh my gosh, it's soaked. It's literally soaked. It's dripping all the way down my side. That's gonna really bother me. I'm not changing, so. The betrayal. You have betrayed me. I don't even want to hydrate now. Whatever. Cheers. We're not wearing earmuffs this winter. Truly your loss. It's a freaking blizzard out there right now, but I have to go grocery shopping. It's non-negotiable. I literally don't have food. So we're bundling up and we are going to trek out there in the weather. Hats, earmuffs. Are you team hats or earmuffs? I just find these are so much more convenient because when I get into a store, I can't take off the hat. Are you crazy? Do you know what that does to my hair when I take a hat off my head? Yeah. So these, it doesn't affect whatever look you got going on. Dollarama, no, Urban Planet. I have them at Dollarama though, so. The next update was added to the same post after they initially posted the update. I think this will be my last update on this post for a while. I really need to take a Reddit break. Why? Some of your comments on my last update hit me very hard. The numbness and shock of my husband's admission of having fantasies about another woman, a parent and co-leader in our kids' scout troop, are starting to wear off. Now I'm just angry. I'm angry at my husband. On one hand, I wish he hadn't admitted to having a fantasy involving that woman. I believe him when he says he didn't act on his attraction because he didn't do anything physical with her. And I believe that he tried to limit contact in the situations where they were together, but it wasn't enough. I mean, there's a big difference with saying like, yeah, she's an attractive woman. And there is another difference of saying, yes, I have fantasies about her and like do my thing to myself while thinking about those fantasies of her. Very different. Let's not forget that. I kind of forgot about that, to be honest. I don't envy the situation he was in when he was the only other adult to take the troops on outings. If he had pulled back, the Scoots would have suffered at the Scoots. That's a funner name though. The Scoots. More fun name. Everyone says funner is not a word. It's fun for me to say funner. The Scouts would have suffered at the time because they were the only two leaders, even if it was just a situation in his head that he played out in the shower by himself. It feels like cheating to me. It doesn't matter if he thought about her 1 time or 100 times or what the fantasy was, he still cheated on me. I don't care that it wasn't a physical relationship. He was the one person that I felt safe enough with to be intimate, and he put a ton of cracks into that trust. I'm mad because some of you made me feel like it's my fault this happened, or that I'm broken and undeserving of my husband. There is a voice in the back of my head that says I should just crack my marriage open just a little bit and give permission. What? And give permission for him to have an affair just to be with this woman, but only if they are discreet. I don't know how your mind is jumping there, but couldn't be me. Apparently, I can't meet his needs because he pleasures himself in the shower. I'm pissed that the thought is even there, taunting me in my sister's voice. But most of all, I'm mad at myself. Mad for not seeing the signs that stronger boundaries were needed, or for getting involved sooner. I'm mad that my anxiety has pushed me into repeating the mistakes that my parents made. I'm mad that in my vulnerability, I almost started my own emotional affair. Someone DM'd me after my first post and opened up about their affair. Not only did I overshare with that person who made me feel like I was safe, they asked questions that planted seeds about having an affair. They asked about the parents I was attracted to and if I would consider an affair with them, or if I fantasized about them. There are some things that happened to me around my parents' divorce that makes intimacy very hard, including that self-pleasuring. But I found myself fantasizing about that parent after my husband's admission and trying some things that I've never tried before. This just feels so intimate to be sharing on the internet, but hey, I mean, she shared it first. I even crossed my own boundary about connecting with that parent on Facebook when I have their kid in my class. I'm mad about my vulnerability and that I may have started to make the same mistakes as my husband. I told my husband that I need some space and time to process all of this. I told him he needs to step back from scouting for now. He can remain a registered leader so he doesn't have to do another background check later, but he has to take a break and let others pick up the load. And you all made it clear that I need a therapist, so I'm starting my search for one, and a marriage counselor, and a copy of that Shirley Glass book. We're gonna read some comments from people of Reddit because I like to see how savage they are sometimes. And when you guys give me your thoughts and feelings in the comments, be sure to censor yourself. We have to censor on these platforms. Things get flagged very easily. They are a lot more strict than you would think. So censor your words, you know, if you're gonna write anything. All right, first comment. I'm confused. You had a good, open conversation with your husband about the situation. Out came some brutal honesty, but also some open honesty. As requested, in return, you decided to plant the first seeds of an affair? What? Your actions make no sense. To be insecure about his confession is normal, and I totally understand. But then your actions towards your crush? What the F, lady? Get a hold of yourself. Why are you trying to implode your life and your marriage? I'm equally as confused by that though. Truly to me isn't making any sense. So if you can make sense of it, by all means, shed some light for me. Next comment, someone just said self-sabotage. Next comment, I don't understand the belief that your spouse fantasizing about someone else is cheating. As a woman, this just seems like normal behavior for anyone. The expectations may be too high. OP, I responded positively to your last post and you replied by thanking me. I think you have taken a wrong turn here. This is one of those things where you can get way off the rails, ruin a lovely marriage and family, and then late in life look back and realize how minimal it was. Zoom out. If he passed away tomorrow, what do you think your perspective would be on this? Oh, wow, that's a really gruesome exercise, but could offer some perspective. Like, that's why they say never go to bed angry, because God forbid something happened to your loved one. Like, how would you feel? That is a very interesting perspective. And the next comment in response to those was, this is what she wants. Maybe she wants to have an affair now? I'm just so confused. I truly am. This will be an interesting conversation. I'll see you guys in the comment section. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and censor. PG-13, everybody. See ya.